It'll have to. I'll have to wait the 20 seconds. Yellow, green. All right. I guess we are actually. Are we live? Okay, it looks like we actually are live. Good. OBS was doing some weird stuff, and I think I technically have an upcoming stream for no reason, which is rather silly, but I will delete that. Delete forever. Okay, looks like I am now live. All messages. And we are here, back with Splatoon 3 Story Mode. Okay. So, at this point in the game, I've cleared every level except for the last one. And I have a large amount of eggs, because if you clear everything, they give you lots of eggs. And the story is kind of almost wrapping up here. We have one more log to get. And we have most of the scrolls. We're only missing 4. And as soon as I get all of them, I think I'm going to go over... Well, at the very least, I'm going to go over all of the logs in order. And then we will go over the Sunken Scrolls maybe a little bit. I've already talked about the Sunken Scrolls a lot, though, so I'm more interested in going over the logs. But now we go to Site 6. Which is... It's kind of got a similar feeling. It's kind of the bigger brother of Splatoon 2's final area. Final world, in terms of style. Oh yeah, what do they even do with these pipes? A question that will remain unanswered, I guess. If you remember, Splatoon 2 had... The final world was kind of this big, like, island-hoppy sort of mess of different things where, like, you would start by, it was kind of, there was like a central area, and then there was a bunch of different, things that drove you around, basically. So you'd have to hop onto one of the platforms, and then the platform would drive you to one of the levels, and then you'd go to the level, and then each of the platforms had its own little, or each of the levels had its own platform, basically. This is kind of similar, but better executed in my opinion. This fulfills the, like, the island hopping a lot better. Because Splatoon 2's is kind of... it's kind of, like, difficult. It's kind of, contrived, I guess. Where, like... You know, it's not really an archipelago. It's kind of a, oh, we've set up these things to be, it's more like a train, actually. Because, like, trains go in, like, routes, right? They go in circuits. And, like, it's like they made a train. Ooh, a sunken scroll. Okay, we're going to talk about this. This is about Little Judd. Or Judd. Yeah, okay. This is some of the backstory. Little Judd wants to take over from Judd, so he wants to kill him, kind of. It's not entirely clear what he wants to do with him. But, that kind of gives a little bit of a guesstimate of what Little Judd's planning. He says, for praise for equality, no imperfections found. I guess he's gonna go after the toe beans. So, what that actually means, unknown. However, it looks like there might be some plot point later where Judd's toes are bad, have been broken or something. Ooh, golden record. Anyway, so what I was talking about Splatoon 2. At the end of Splatoon, the final Splatoon 2 level or world is more it's more like divided up into circuits where it's like, oh yeah, you just can't go in between these different areas because there's no way to get, right, like it takes you to different spots, right? There's a bunch of different spots. It's more like a map than a as you can see, I've already gotten to the top here and we still have 5,000 more eggs. It is not difficult to just get, and this one's called, yeah. It's not difficult to get to where, like, you need to go by the time you get here. Unless you're not, like, the only way to not do that is to pretty much just to not go to all of the levels, right? If you skip levels, and it's pretty easy to skip levels, even if you're just playing this normally, then, but of course the game kind of pretty actively encourages you to do all of the stuff, so. But you can see there's sort of this central tower here, and all the ride rails go pretty much everywhere. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It gives an archipelago feel a lot better because, like, there's a bunch of different places you can go, and a lot of them are pretty interesting, but still, like, kind of, I don't know, one note. The other thing is that Splatoon 2's worlds have a lot of, like, semi-puzzles in them, especially that final area. Has a lot of, like, platforming puzzles almost, where it's like, oh yeah, you have to shoot this thing to get over here and then go this way. Where these worlds are less, like, they're not really that worried about making people have fun stuff to do here because the fun stuff is in finding all of the little stuff. Ah, yes. Seems your instructions how to mummify an inkling. Or a normal squid, because this is just a normal squid. This is a very interesting description of the Sunken Scroll. So this is obviously just like a dried squid that they found, but the bottom, like, how this is written is very different than a lot of the other ones, right? So some of them are quotes, right? A lot of these are quotes, actually. The other ones, the ones that aren't quotes, are very much like technical research language, right? Like this one is not a quote. It's just this is me explaining it scientifically, right? Now a lot of them are quotes, except for like this one's not a quote. It's like scientific explanation. Same thing with this one. That one's a quote technically. That one's kind of a quote, right? And that's the style of the Sunken Scrolls. They're very much a like almost a Wikipedia entry level thing, except for aside from the quotes, obviously. So like quotes are quotes, and then but when they're actually being written, it's more Wikipedia entry. This one is unique because it's not written in that style. It's written with like personality and emotion, when that's not really what they're normally written as. So it's very weird. And the context of it is even more weird, because it's like, okay, seems your instructions how to mummify an inkling. Maybe in olden times, inklings thought to preserve their bodies after death. They could be revived someday. This is a reference to real people freezing themselves after they die, and their brains. The question, like, the first two sentences are not inherently out of place. The question mark is a little bit weird, but it wouldn't be crazy. It's the last line that's really weird. But that's, and like, so if you get into the mind of the character writing here, which is this is one of the only times you can do that, because it's a, like, non-scientific writing sort of Wikipedia entry, but not written as a Wikipedia entry. The character is about to say something interesting, but then they go with, there's no way that there's a real one stuck here, right? Of course it isn't, right? Like, there's like a double... There's 3 questions here for no reason. And this is one of the only questions... Like, that sunken scroll is the only question sunken scroll in any of the games, I think. I don't think there's any... There may be a few from... There may be like 1 per game. But most of them are just, you know, this is what it is. Or, you know, this is what this says. So that one... That one's really interesting. I'm hoping we'll see more about that one, but we probably won't. It's the main contributor of like my ongoing thoughts about whether Inklings die or not. But you know, we'll have to get to the end of this story mode for me to really explain that, because there's some stuff that happens in the final section. Let's see if we can get these balloons. I believe we can get it, because we've cleaned out most of this stuff already. As you can see, I don't know if I've cleaned out all of the... No, there's still some over there. I've cleaned out most of the fuzzy ooze, even, like, without doing any levels. Like, I've gotten most of it, right? Okay. Alright, we got it. We got there. And I think that's almost all of the fuzzy ooze. Very interesting. I don't think you can quite get all of it, but you can definitely get most of it just off of the, like, coming out of the previous level. Is it the last sunken scroll? No, we're missing one more. This one's also really interesting for a couple of different reasons. First, it talks about Marigold, which is the new character that they added that kind of acts as the staff for... They're called staff, mostly. But they work in a bunch of different things. Oh, that's interesting. But... I've been disconnected. Oh, I'm back. Okay. I was talking about this. Anarchy District 3 is like a town, or it's more probably a county, given the title, right? It doesn't have an actual name. It's just Anarchy District 3. Well, I mean district. It's a district, but it's like a county. And then 3-blank is probably a like address, sort of like the numbers on houses. The second one is Rue de Blank, so that's another state or town or county name, and then 19-6 is the what's it called, address, and then Chateau Bateau, that's probably how you pronounce that, is oh, by the way, also Rue is road in French, so that's road of something. It's probably still just a town name. But Chateau Bateau probably... I want to say that it might be another country. But it's possible it's just a state name. Like a state of some sort. And then the last one, Southgill Province. So that's province. So that's specifically sort of state, like Telfin City. So that's a city, which maybe Chateau Bateau is a city. It's possible. The problem is they're all in different, and then XXX district, which doesn't tell us anything. The problem is they're all in different, like, formats, which makes me think that this might be 3 different countries. The only issue is that last one, because it's like province, city, always bring stuff back the way I like them to. Okay, we have to go back to the other side to get more stuff. If we go to the map, we see that we've gotten a lot of the stuff, but this area over here is kind of unexplored. So. Ah, yes, up here. There's some stuff up here. We'll eat that. Oop. Oop. That's just eggs. Cool. This takes us all the way up here. Up here is a bit of a difficult one because we need to get down there. Oh, whoops. He found something, but we can't use it because we fell all the way down. I don't remember what the last sunken scroll is exactly, but I think there may be one. I think we might be missing enough for one fuzzy ooze. Yeah, see, that's 12, and we only have 800 left. So I think that's the last bit of it. In the context of the whole story mode, this world is kind of... It's kind of supposed to be the urban one, but it also ends up being like kind of archipelago-like, which is kind of interesting. Obviously, like in context, it works, right? Because, you know, there's the big like towers and, you know, big buildings that are now in the ocean, so, you know, the road is gone. But yeah, so you can see we've kind of made it down to the end from where we started. Ooh, right, this is one of the... We'll do the Splatoon stamper. The Clash Blaster is interesting, but not incredible. Defeat the enemies sneaking around in the mist and reach the goal. I kind of like these levels, even though they're like not particularly something. Right? Like, this is just, oh, play the game, but, you know. Oh, this is the level with, This is the Octoling level. So, you know, in all of the single player modes beforehand, there's levels that act like single player levels, right? They're the exact same, pretty much, right? Except for against AI enemies. And you're also only one person, so it's not exactly the same, but it's supposed to emulate that. In this story mode, there is none. There is no levels that act like anything like any sort of single-player levels. The closest thing, and in fact, Octolings are still kind of missing from this story mode. There's not a lot of them around. Oop, he ran out of ink. But they're kind of missing, at least through most of the story, right? You don't get them all the way. I think this is the first time that they've had a level to themselves. Because they've definitely been around before, but they're not, right? They don't have a level to themselves. Which is why we haven't heard this music, which is their specific song, at all yet. Except for now, right? So this level is kind of like the... I'm good with the... What is this? The Splatoon stamper. Oh, they all fell down. Ooh. Got one. I think there's one more. Oh, nope, that was it. So that level's okay, but it's more like supposed to be a reference, right? They were like, this type of level isn't really fun, so here you go. Have this one instead. Okay, now we start on the final archive, the final alternate log. The land of fresh beginnings after fresh intelligence awakes, which kind of, I don't know, I guess it works. Oh, Callie. She's got extra power eggs. That's great. We don't really need any more power eggs, actually. Oh, whoops. Oh, I forgot. You can do this. You can take pictures in context. Ooh. That's an interesting way to ride the rail, actually. That's kind of weird. Okay. Making sure I'm grabbing... The map is really useful for this one, because it tells you where you've been and where you haven't. Definitely more so even than a lot of the other areas. Where, I mean, like, the map's useful in all of them, but the map is least... They've slowly made the map more useful over time, actually, I think. Except for in Octo Expansion, where there is no map, because it doesn't matter. But, like, in Splatoon 1, the map is probably the least useful, because a lot of those... The world maps are just pretty vertical, right? They're, like, mostly up and down in terms of where levels are, right? They're, like, they've got, sort of three-tiered structures where, you know, you go here and then you go there and like you start in the middle and then you have to go up and down to get all of the levels. In Splatoon 2 there is some of that, but the levels are still more like unique and they're also bigger. Like the Splatoon 1 levels are pretty cramped overall in terms of where, like, the amount of level world space per levels. I think in Splatoon 2 it's a lot more open, even though it's like the same amount of levels. We're just gonna do all the levels as we come across them, now that we've cleared out most of the world. I still have to find that last sunken scroll, so I'm sure we will get there eventually. We have to use the Splash-O-Matic, and we don't have any bombs. Reach the goal. Oh, right. This one. I don't remember if this one was difficult or not. The thing is, it's pretty easy to avoid. Like, the Octolings, they're actually pretty easy to avoid when you're trying to avoid them, right? Okay. Oop, he blew up. Cool. Whatever. Right, like, I'm gonna run out of ink if I run out of ink, so... Right, it only makes sense to break things that are gonna actively impede my progress, which aren't anything. Except for maybe inking the sides every once in a while. Oop. Ouch, 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 ouch. Okay, there we go. Ah! Okay. Like, these guys, they just kind of spit out little balls at you, so you can just keep walking and avoid them. Right? Like, there's a lot of them here, but they're still not hitting me. Wait, where? Oh! Ah! Okay. This might be a little crazy. Okay, they're still following me. They're still being annoying. This time, when I'm going, I know what I need to do. Ouch. Those little balls do a lot of damage, actually. But they're still... Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ah! Alright, alright, alright. Nice. Oh, I didn't need to do that. There was a little ball there. Oh well. Conserve ink splat sustainably. Those levels, I think, they're like kind of fun, but they're like opposite to how you're expected to play the game normally. So they're kind of interesting, but they're more a novelty than actually like really good for the game, I think. The beings that emerge from the water soon emerge from the cavern of Alterna itself. Okay, so to go over the story, humans got into this cave. They made weird sci-fi stuff. They eventually exploded themselves by accident, and then they polluted the water and caused a species to evolve. Pretty much, that's pretty much the thing. And now that species is leaving. They're going somewhere else. How do I get up there? There's a way to get up there, if I remember correctly. Oh. It's telling me there's cool stuff around. That's okay. I don't need cool stuff to be cool. Now, if I remember correctly, this sort of tower here is actually pretty difficult to figure out. Well, that's not entirely true. It can get kind of complicated because it has multiple levels. Ooh, end zap. I love the end zap. Time your movements to carefully reach the goal. Ah, this level. This level is kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie. I like the concept. I can see what they're going for, and I like it. Except for it's pretty annoying because the whole level is moving around, and you basically have to go in and out of this, you know, deal where it's right. The whole thing is kind of designed for you to accidentally mess up and then fall to your death, and then you have to restart. Or to take a jump that is, like, not as safe as you think, and then you fall down and die. Yeah, see, like, right there. Plus, you know, enemies are shooting at you as well. Or to, like, you know, not go quick enough, and then you have to wait until you can... killing this guy. I got him. Okay. Okay. We're supposed to go the other way, actually. Oop. Yeah, it ends up being like... I'm doing pretty well, actually. But especially, right, as you get further up, the failure for missing it, right, because... Ooh, see, that was, like, kind of close. Becomes a lot more annoying, right, because now I have to go through all of the stuff I just did. Whew, that was actually close. Plus, you have to kill all the enemies to get where you need to go anyway. Okay, we got there. That level, it can get really annoying if you miss, like, one section, and then you have to redo it all, pretty much. And it becomes, it can get kind of a grind. I'm not gonna lie there. Archive. From there, they flourished quickly. It wasn't long before they explored every corner of the world. The thing is that the Alternans messed up, did well. Pretty much. Where was I? I was over there. Oh, right. And the other thing is the little green, you know, things that tell you if there's items around kind of just fill up the whole area, so you don't know what level it's on. I remember that being quite annoying when I played through this the first time. Oh, it's down here. I haven't been to any of... The good thing is now I know that these things exist, so I should be able to always pick up stuff. Nice decoration. Okay, time to do the next level. Reach the goal using a roller. I don't really like rollers, but you know, if I have to. Ooh, is this one of those make a picture levels? Maybe I should have gone for the carbon. It is. Kind of. There's a few levels like this. There's a few good brush levels. These guys are funny because if you just wait a little bit, they'll screw up, basically. This level is a great improvement over the brush levels, which just have you brushing the whole time. Because this one, you actually do roller things, right? You don't just roll, you also fling, which is the other thing the roller can do. Thanks. On a roll with the roller. I would have never guessed. Nice. Woo! The Squid Surge is a great addition to the game, really. I gotta say. It just, like, allows you to be more deliberate with your moves, I feel. And there's a way around. Octarian. Right? If we just wait, they'll turn around. Plus, the roller can go on top of them. Oop. And then, almost at the end. Nice. Yeah, if I remember correctly, in Octo Expansion there were a few levels that were like brush focused, that were like just roll around with the brush most of the time. And they were kind of okay, but they didn't really... You mostly just rolled around. I think it works with the rollers a lot better. This the crater above Alterna and surrounding areas now referred to as Flatland. Okay, also, incidentally, well, that's not entirely correct, but we'll keep going, and I'll explain some of the background that they're revealing here. Ooh. This is the last bit of fuzzy ooze, which means I've gotten all of it, and I get the final sunken scroll as a reward. Or the third to last, which is about Off the Hook, which we all love, and it's great. After leaping from Inklopolis, scared to the world stage... By the way, canonically, while this is happening, they are on World Tour. Off the Hook has found a new side project. They perform vocals for a rock band called Damp Socks, which is kind of a bad name, but the music's good, so... yeah. Incidentally, this is also not quoted, but it's a more, like... It's a cultural, you know, sometimes they'll do something like that. Like, this one's still weird. This one, just because it's not quoted, it's more like a radio jockey or a disc jockey talking about it, where it's still talking about it from like an informative way, right? The emotion is not in this, even though they're pretending it is. Anyway, now what we can do is we can see the little clip thing in the corner, because they have a little animation whenever you, in all of the Sunken Scrolls. So look in the bottom left. It's kind of hard to see, but salmon, octarians, squids. Here, we'll start from the beginning. Squid gets shrimp. Shrimp gets another shrimp. Flies away. Octarians show up. And they fall away. And then the salmon, small fry, shows up. And that's it. Okay. This is all the Sunken Scrolls. We can go over them quickly. So, this is about Splat, the Ink Obelisk versus the Splatlands. Which, by the way, I really like that they've divided it into more areas. There's clearly, like, several distinct entities here, right? Not just the two... It's not just divided into two areas, it's divided into, like, 4 or 5. So this map is actually really cool, even though I don't think any of the stuff on it is translated yet, or translated... maybe translatable, translated. We don't actually know what it says, but you know, this is about the origins of the Splatlands Festival, which is kind of interesting. This is just the ad for the Splatlands, Anarchy Avenue. It's the same deal. That's pretty much the same deal. It's just explaining about the Splatlands and also having some interesting hairstyle things. This is also talking about, I guess this is the CEO of Squid Force, because I think that is the company that does all of the lobby stuff. So Glenn Fiddler is the president and CEO, which is weird. That's weird. President and CEO, they usually have two different, because there's really no point in having a president. I don't know. This is more about Salmon Run. This is also about Salmon Run, but specifically about Small Fry, which is kind of interesting. This is about Deep Cut, which there's some controversy. Well, I don't know, controversy is the wrong word. There's some questioning whether Deep Cut is literally hijacking the airwaves, or if this is just, you know, them saying that they're new. There's some indicators that it's possible that they are literally pirating airwaves, which is kind of a big deal if they are, because they're kind of important and everyone listens to them. So I don't really think that they're actually literally hijacking airwaves, but, you know. This is about Shiver's family, which is like sharks. They apparently designed them to be all squids, like predators. So sharks, eels, and manta rays, which I guess all eat squids in the wild. I wouldn't know, so. And then this is about Sheldon, who is now a super successful businessman, I guess. This is about the hat shop. So this is about nails and... I don't remember. Oh, Eddie. That's what he is. This is about the clothing shop. This is about the shoe shop, specifically about the big crab guy who everyone loves. This is about Harmony and the cosmetic shop. This is about Krusty Sean, who has been relegated to, and also has a little bit of stickers of those 3 jellyfish who have a band or something. Also, there's a little map in the corner there. That's interesting. I'll have to look at that. This is about how Agent 3 from the first game is now Captain 3, who is now in charge, and also they get paid, I guess. This is like the first time we've seen something that's like officially official. So I guess the Squid Beak Splatoon is actually something, and not just something that Captain Cuttlefish made up, kind of. It is sort of a legitimate entity, which is interesting, because there's no other reference to them being legitimate, because there's no other reference to government in Splatoon or any sort of that, so that's interesting. This is about Gallia Marie, who everyone loves and is very cool, and we will move on. This is the weird one. This is really weird. This is a really weird one. I have some theories about this one, but we need to get to the end of the game before I can explain it. This is about Off the Hook. We just got this one. Cool. They will be in the DLC for sure, so we'll get more information then. They're apparently on a world tour right now, which is really interesting because we could get more information about areas outside of the limited scope of the former Greater Tokyo Metro area, which is, by the way, where everything takes place in Splatoon. This is like shot-for-shot recreation of the Greater Tokyo metropolitan area. So, you know, it'd be nice to know what else is going on in the world. This is about Judd, which could be interesting. And then this is about the staff person, Marigold, who people like, I guess, who, like, it's pretty interesting. We'll see if they go somewhere with this, but I don't know if they will. So, actually, I need to do something real quick, so I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now, we have to finish the Alternalogs, which are the other lore things, right? We have all the Sunken Scrolls, so now the only way to get more lore is to get the Alternalogs and also finish the story. How do we get up there? The answer is no, we can't get up there. Guess we'll go over here. Okay, looking pretty good. We just need to make sure we get specific section. What? Ugh, come on. I'm like practically falling off here. Ooh, he found something. It's a table turf pack, which doesn't really matter. Okay, dive and dash, reach the goal within the time limit. This is a time limit one. The time limit ones are interesting. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're quite annoying, and sometimes they're a mix. There's a car there. It's got arrow spray and burst bomb. It's just a normal car. Huh. Well. Go, go, go. If this whole thing is only like 20 seconds, this is going to be very... potentially very short. Ah, see, there we go. I do like that they added sort of like a timer level that's more traditional, right? Where like you have to go, if you just go, like you'll hit, what's the word? Like you'll always be close to hitting the end before you get a boost. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ah, darn. Ooh. I psyched myself out on that one. Okay, we got this. Yeah, yeah, woo! Oh boy. Boop, boop, boop. Nice. Oh, that's annoying. Fortunately, I can just go and not care about them. Pretty much. Exploded. Ah! I missed it. Luckily, it didn't matter, so... 13 seconds to go. I like those ones that, like, have checkpoints. I think the addition of checkpoints to, like, the time limit levels is really, really good, because now you don't have to do the whole level if you mess it up slightly. Okay. The region would knows the land of fresh beginnings among creatures and now thrive on the surface. Basically, the Splatlands are like the Middle East or something, where like people have lived there forever, right? Or at least like from the beginning of modern history. Not even like civilization started there, kind of thing. Ooh, okay, this is a new area. It's gotta be like right here. Oh, nope, it's over here. Ticket! Like, the Splatlands isn't exact, like, it's not like the Middle East in the way of, you know, complicated political mess, but more in the way of, like, people have always lived there. So I guess it's more like Ethiopia. Blah blah blah. We'll go to blah blah blah. The blah 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 is a good weapon, although... Oh, this one. Oh, this one. This one is long and complicated. But also, I kind of appreciate that they went all the way with it. This is basically the closest to a... like open world level that they really ever get. I got one of them. Whew. Because this whole level has a bunch of those little guys who hold keys and run away from you. And the whole point is that you have to run around and get all of them. Okay, I got one key. There's a bunch. We need to get all of the keys. So, like, this whole level is just a bunch of different levels, basically. Combined into one. But they're all, like, tiny little things. They're not, full puzzle levels. They're all like run through this area levels. Come on, come on. Got it. Okay. I missed. Okay. Oh, right. And the other thing is we can see that there's like 4 or 5. Okay, where'd that guy get to? Where'd he go? Oh, he's over there. Okay. No, 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 no. Come on. Got him. Okay. So now we've done the right area. Now we go over to the left. There's a whole other section here. Also, the design of this level is very, like, urban, like, open world-esque, right? It's very much, you know, just lots of stuff here, right? But, like, extra things that aren't necessary in the game, right? Like, all of these little extra areas. They've really done it well that it's designed, like, still designed well, right? It's still a well-designed sort of single-player level, but it's still got a bunch of these, like, more open world-esque elements, right? Where there's extra blocks around, right? Lots of the levels are more designed for exploration and multiple different stuff. Did I get all of them? I got all the keys, so I must have gotten all the guys. That went quicker than I remember it. Probably because I was talking about stuff, but maybe it's because I did that level multiple times to get all of the little things. And yeah, that level kind of takes a while even if you're speedrunning it. So yeah, that's one of the more interesting levels, I will say. Log 6. Okay, so they scatter themselves throughout the globe, distinct cultures and unique ways of life, aka they just did normal things. They did normal society things. Where society is society. We live in the society. We got a decoration. We're missing 1. See, as soon as we get that, or no, we're missing 3 actually. We need 3 more Sardinium to get the small fry damage up, the last one. Smash all enemies within... Oh, right. Is this the one I'm thinking of? This one is pretty difficult, if I remember. Yeah. Okay, this one's pretty difficult. This might be my last one I do. And so you got a minute. Oh, this is just a practice area. But you have a bunch of enemies and you have to get all of them using... Yeah, final checkpoint. Okay, see, as soon as we drop down, the key is actually to throw the ones, really, because if you throw it, you can get a bunch. And it took me a little bit to figure that out, but I eventually did. And it mostly just makes sense to throw it, with the exception of a few times, because throwing it gives you wider range, and it kills more of them, potentially. Right? I only missed 1 there. Right, I got 3 with that one. I got 2 there. Okay, I think we're on track. Oh! the ball spawned on top of me. That's not fair. Oh well. So as you can see, the challenge, part of the challenge here is that you either you just have the stamper the whole time, which in that case, it's not particularly crazy, but it's not easy, but it's a lot easier than not having it and having to go and get it every time. Right, you can easily get a bunch of them if you throw it, so you should really always be throwing it. Pretty much. Now this section, this is one of the harder sections because they're not set up well. And I think I'm gonna miss it. Yeah, I missed it. Okay, we got 38. Basically, once you get that last section, you'll end up... Oop, I missed. And then I got killed. Okay. Oh boy. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt. Ooh. If I can, okay. Stamping, see, but the thing is, I think stamping can actually be good. Oh, oops. Okay. Oh, why does it keep doing that? It keeps... That one wasn't as good as my other one. I think I should keep throwing them. We're gonna retry. This is probably one of the hardest levels in the game. Even with having the stamper with you all the time, it's still pretty bad because you kind of get into this... Oh, I missed. Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. Looking good. Ooh, that one. That's... this last one. See, it's really the last one that's really hard. Okay, one left. I missed it. You pretty much always end up down to the wire, because the last one is always really just sucks. Like, that last one is not well designed for any... Even for, like, if you're rolling... It's not really designed for that either. It's just designed to be annoying. Okay. Ooh, whoops. Got it. Okay. Right, because you always end up in a bad situation. Okay, last one is right there. Got it. Okay. That's what you pretty much have to do that. It's supposed to come down and roll around on the top of the walls. You pretty much just have to go for it as soon as possible because you never end up with free time in that level. The Stamp Gauntlet, that is probably the hardest level in the base game here. Out of all the species now roaming on Earth, squids and octopuses soon distinguish themselves by intelligence and fresh vibe, so to speak. They were in charge, I guess. They're the coolest. Because we want them to be the coolest. Okay. So I'm still missing a spot here, but I can do... Oop, he found something. Is that it? Nope, there's still things. But this looks like it's the level. We've gotten most of the area. We just have a few more to go. And let's see. What level is this? We've gotten all the Sardinium, which means we'll get some more for the last one. I think I'm gonna end it here though. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more levels to go, so we should be able to clean that up quite well. I'll be able to talk about the Alternalogs, and we'll be able to do the final boss fight and start the final section of the game. So I think we're gonna call it here. I think this is going to be the end of the stream. We've done well. We've cleaned out this whole area, and we have lots of power eggs left, naturally, because that's how they designed it. But, you know, everything's pretty good. So, yeah, that's the end of the